How did that go live? Like, magically just now. That was weird.
Can you hand me my headphones?
Headphones.
What? You look beautiful this morning.
I try to look beautiful every morning. Good morning, Brittany. Brittany. Okay, hold on. What do you need? Your headphones.
That's right. Thanks. Hey, Sonic Dishes. What's up, Josh?
Sonic Dishes.
Sony Dishes? I don't know.
All I can think of is the hedgehog. Check.
You wash dishes really fast?
Yeah, like, and it goes. But if you hit something, like coins fly everywhere. You just
Water splashes everywhere.
Coins bouncing around your kitchen. Check.
Here, I need
check.
my headphones.
I love Sonic.
Good morning, people.
No, it's totally stuck in my head. Check.
Good morning. Check, check, check. Hello.
You are way too loud in me headphones. Check, check. Hello and welcome to Scratamy of Scrarage.
I was going to say that. The scratch.
Okay, are you ready?
Sure.
Good morning.
Hold on.
What?
What's up, Kylie? Wave, wave, wave.
You get a wave, you get a wave, you get a wave. Check, check. Check.
Don't say we never gave anything. Uh-oh, I turned the thing around. How did I do that?
Right there. Dinkus.
I don't know what that...
Don't. Oh, you're...
Press okay.
Oh, gosh. No. Look at what he's done now. There we go. Check, check. Okay, you ready?
The Instagrams.
Good morning.
Hey, yo!
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Here we go. Hello and welcome to the Anatomy of Marriage podcast. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
Good morning. My name is Seth Studley. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, and today is day 62, and we'd be talking about love languages, ignoring depression, husband doesn't help, and finding a therapist.
If you're new here, welcome. We have over 270 episodes about all things marriage related because we have been through a really hard marriage and we don't want you to do the same thing. So we're glad you're here. Mm-hmm. We're excited to get into things today. And every single day we are live. Every single day of the week, like Monday through Friday, we're live on Facebook and Instagram. So you will see us talking, hear us talking to our friends there.
That's right.
And it's
you say
really
Facebook
exciting.
Live too?
I don't know what I said. But it'll be exciting and you can join us there. And as always, our show is brought to you by Audible. We love audiobooks, like obsessively love them. And we want you to enjoy an audiobook for free on us. So go to audibletrial.com/anatomy of marriage to get your free audiobook.
You know what I just thought of?
Think of it. Tell me
what
it
If I really
was.
want to chill out, then I should get like Lord of the Rings on the audiobook.
LOTR?
Oh, that'd be red.
The narrator would probably be super, like,
yeah,
to the Misty Mountain.
Have to have a British accent at least. If it was Brit.
Okay, just go.
Okay, sorry. All right. Hi, Seth and Mel.
Holy
We're jumping straight in, people.
Go ahead.
Hey, Seth and Mel. Thanks for your help and consistency on the show. It means a lot. The regularity of your posting is worth so much. Keep it up. Thank you, by the way. Context. Both 27 years old, no kids, married 1.5 years, both work full-time, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays only. I do all the cleaning, but he will help cook most nights. My husband is very intelligent. He loves learning and loses himself in it fairly easily, be it YouTube videos, lectures, reading, or school. Even video games on the rare occasion that he plays. His energy goes there most of the time. When I get upset with him over it, I'll go quiet and distant. I'll say something every now and then like, you wasted your entire day and still don't realize you have a wife. Sometimes he'll come home immediately, but more often than not, he'll delay a while, maybe to let me calm myself or get more riled. Then he'll be flirty and touchy and try for sex. I usually give in since I have the higher sex drive, but that's not the connection I want. I want and need more than sex. I've tried getting through to him on that, but he doesn't seem to understand. Smart guy, huh? How do I get him to want to connect in other ways, and how do I get him to see me again? Thanks for all you do. Okay. One quick thing. So,
yeah, before we dive into this question,
there, even in your email to us, was dripping with sarcasm
yeah.
and some critical nature. Okay,
I want to throw
words like "you wasted your entire day and still don't realize you have a wife."
Yeah. So think about this: what if your husband wanted you to be like to join the video games with him or to watch the lectures with him, and he was like, hey wife, you wasted the last 4 hours not watching lectures with me. Real smart, huh? Like, you would hate him and leave.
So we're not going to bash on you, but
Only
our
just a
job is
little
to
bit.
be objective and point things out. And I would say this to a couple if they were sitting straight across from me in my office. And then you say,
And we love you and we've been there.
that's right, I've tried getting through to him, but that he doesn't seem to understand. So I want you to try a different way, because it's very obvious that you've tried to get through to him through sarcasm and critical. And guess what? Whenever we do sarcasm and criticism, that is going to put the other person immediately on the defense. Like, whoa, check it out. And Melanie has done that forever, and it never basically works.
Yeah, and one thing I will say that's very important in understanding this concept or this whole question is that your husband does not need to understand why you want time and affection together. He just needs to know what you want, not why you want it. Okay?
You're confusing me.
I know you. I know you are. I know I am. And this goes to the conversation we had like on this weekend with Matt. All these different things. People think for some reason, and this is a personal conversation I've been having with my sister, who she's weird. I'm just kidding. I love her. But one of the things that we have come to understand in our parenting and our relationships with our partners is that there really is a point where you realize trying to get someone else to understand your needs and wants and desires doesn't matter if they don't know what to do with that knowledge, right? Dr. Corey Allen talks about this in the app. He's like, understanding is one thing. Having an action plan is an entirely different thing.
So give me an example so I can understand what you're talking about, and the listeners
So
can.
the perfect thing right here actually is to take the love languages quiz. So you can get like if you Google love languages quiz, you can find it. But on the Get Your Marriage On app, there is a love languages quiz in the toolbox. So if you got that app, you could do the love languages quiz within it. So here's a couple reasons that we talk about why love languages are important, is that it's the way that you feel loved the most. And there's like words of affirmation, receiving gifts, acts of service, touch.
Oh, so you're saying, okay, if my love language is touch, you don't have to know, why does Seth want to be touched all the time? What's the deal with that? I just have to understand it before I can do it. It's just like, no, that is, do it.
Yeah, and because you will never understand it. Like, my love language is acts of service. So the way that I feel the most loved is you scrub the toilet, you wash the windows, you do the laundry. That is literally what my love language is. And that's how my mom's love language is that. Like, how do you help mom? You do things. How do you help me? You do things, right? But to you, your love language is touch and like saying that you did a good job, which to me, I'm like, what do I care if you did a good job? Clean the toilet. Right? So for me, I will never understand your love language, and I don't need to. And we are getting stuck in this like, oh, you need to understand me. No, I don't. I need to know what your love language is, and I need to know how to do it. So
maybe we think that we need that understanding. Maybe I need.
We want to feel understood, and we want our partner to blah blah blah. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything, right? So the first thing, take the love languages quiz. There are 5 love languages. I can't remember them all. But take the quiz. You can go to Get Your Marriage On, get the app, or you can just Google it. But then the second part of that, actually there's probably like 3 parts. So you take the quiz, you identify what your love languages are, both of them, not just yours, both of them. Then you have within the Get Your Marriage On app, there's a section that says, how can I show you love or whatever? Like it's an actual like fill in, you type it in. And you and your husband need to sit down and talk about what actual quality time looks like together for both of you, not just him. And he can get lost in watching academic things. That's fine. But probably he's not getting lost in you because you're not offering anything. You're just going, ooh, we should spend time with me.
Jab.
Right? You got to offer something and not sarcasm. Like you can't offer sarcasm and then think he will get.
Remember the Southern saying that I told you a long time ago? You catch more flies with honey.
Yeah, I would get so mad when you would say that. And now we have children who are like me, and I'm like, you catch more flies with honey. Oh, hi.
Hey, Nixon. Can you shut the door, please?
We're recording, buddy.
Thanks,
okay,
hold on. Let me read the thing. So, wait a minute. I legit do Oh, the samples of books and hear their voices. Yeah, that's good for Audible. And somebody says, I'm constantly criticizing my fiance, baby daddy. I feel like it's a cycle we've gotten into and so hard to stop. I try every day. Yeah, so the first, okay, you first have to identify the problem. So if you're just saying, I constantly criticize my fiance, baby daddy, you got to stop that. You got to think of the reason why you're doing that, and I'm sure it's family of origin stuff. And sometimes we think, I'll just try harder. I'll just say what they're doing harder, and that's really, you get into that real pursue distancer dynamic.
And criticism is really tricky because I think as women we are taught to criticize. A lot of TV shows criticize, and it's very hard to stop that cycle because we think, in a sense, we're parenting our spouse, which is not helpful. It's not going to work.
Somebody says, what if your wife can't explain what her love language looks like?
Has she taken the quiz?
Well, probably, but you don't know. You can help her, maybe. It's kind of like the Enneagram test. Sometimes individuals have a hard time figuring out their Enneagram. Their people close to them can help them out with
let's not let's not make it more complicated than it needs to be. Writing out a list of things that your wife loves to do with you. That's literally, you can go, I love taking walks. I love swimming with you. I love when we read together or listen to records. I love when we talk about music together. It can be as simple as that. It doesn't need to be like, words of affirmation. It can be like an exhaustive list of things that you enjoy together. Let's see. What are you reading? Another one of these ones?
Let's go to the next question here. Somebody said, just creates walls. Yeah, it does. Criticism and sarcasm just makes the other person feel defensive.
But I didn't finish it. You're skipping. So you got to do your love languages quiz, identify your love languages, make an exhaustive things of the things you enjoy together to do. And then the third thing is should we ever think that someone else can get inside of our mind and perceive from our perspective and understand from our perspective. And so when we do not equip our partner with a legit, these are the things I enjoy and love, when you brush my hair or sit with me and drink coffee, I feel excited and happy. If they don't have that actual list, we are doing them a disservice and then back to us a disservice. So we need to stop pretending that love equates to ESP. Like mind reading is not love. Love is having clear, kind abilities to communicate.
That's true.
Thank you for the question.
Okay. Hey, people with small kids, how do you tackle or come to a peaceful place with healthy discussion with parenting differences, as this can be a major problem between us? We have 4 kids under 8. I've written here before that for a while now we both had depression, but I feel like he completely refuses to acknowledge it, mine and his. I'm trying to help with my well-being, but he doesn't do himself favors by staying up late, sleeping until midday on weekends and some day times, and eats crap. I know depression is mean, I have it. But if he can't see that it's even affecting our parenting, what can I do? When he's in a mood, I find him being snappy with me and them, and he also doesn't talk to them per their ages. And if I say anything, I'm in the wrong. So this is really interesting. I saw an article and there's a culture in Africa. I don't remember which one, but it's a tribe, it's a village, and a lot of the people had depression. Right? They were going through clinical depression, and a bunch of the elders got together and they were like, okay, we're going to fix this. So being out in the sunshine, dancing and singing and actually playing drums and stuff, and then eating right. There was no medication, there was no talk therapy. It was simply being grounded to the, grounding stuff,
putting your feet on the earth,
physical movement, sunshine, and laughter and talking with your peers. So community, all that stuff, and literally the depression went away. And there's new research now suggesting that with psychopharmacological stuff, talk therapy, and then movement, exercise, sun, water, it's that's natural medicine coming that we have access to. Anyway, right? So I would definitely say sleeping till midday, eating trash. Hey buddy.
You just keep talking.
Okay. Can be super helpful. So I would absolutely look at what
sleeping till midday and eating trash is not super helpful.
So how can we break out of patterns like that? And then with the parenting thing, that's a big thing. What do you have?
I want to start with this analogy. We know that when at a zoo, we know that zoos are not helpful for animals, right? We put them in a thing where they're not thriving. They can't swim the full length of the thing. They can't catch a wild whatever. And in a way, our artificial living, the way we live in houses with televisions and fast food, that is like an artificial, is not how we are designed to live. So unfortunately, it's the most convenient way to live. You can drive through McDonald's and get food. You can, fly somewhere in 8 minutes. I mean, it's like ridiculous how artificial our world has become, but we don't see it like the same way that animals in a zoo become unhealthy. They die. They cease to thrive, right? And so I want you to imagine yourself when you're in depression like a beluga whale at the zoo. Like it hates its life and it goes crazy. They go crazy.
Right.
Like animals go crazy. Hold on. We can't talk right now. We're filming, okay? So you can go out there.
Go ahead.
Well, okay. But so I want to think of it like that because we do need nature, movement, activity, like engagement, all of the things. And biopsychosocial, spiritual. It's like the whole wheel of everything. And it makes me think of the book, Dan Siegel has a new book out called Aware, and I just listened to an interview with him about it, but talking about if these things are in balance, if you have, your biology is in balance, you're eating the right things, you're exercising, you're swimming and talking and eating good food, you will have balance in everything else. I know that sounds a little bit like I'm saying it will solve your depression. That's not what I'm saying, but it's going to be an enormous...
It will most likely positively affect...
Yeah, like hugely positive impact. But the thing I wanted to really say in this question is that you have to create boundaries with your husband, and I mean with your husband, as in like together. You are creating boundaries when you are both in a good place, and boundaries outweigh your judgments every time. I don't care how you feel. Feelings change. Feelings are not facts. And if you feel like sleeping until noon, but you've created a boundary that says you do not sleep until noon, you follow that boundary, right? You have to like parent yourself out of the hole that you're in. And staying out of the hole is the only way you will stay out of the hole. Like, I don't know, it's very frustrating. I don't want to point you out, but I will point you out. Like, even with you and dieting, like you want a brownie, so you just go ahead and get one. And it's like, well, you def not going to stay out of the hole that you want to be out of if you perpetuate that cycle.
Right.
So it's something like that where you have to make the boundary when you're in a healthy place, set up all these ways to maintain that boundary, and then do it as a team.
Yeah, it's hard. Like
it's very hard.
Okay, next question.
Why are you skipping past? Please talk more about that.
We talked about
No,
it.
we didn't. There's so much
I don't
more.
have anything else
notes.
to say. What do you have to say?
Well, okay. I just want to say, in this situation where you're talking about depression and all of these things, you are fighting against patterns and habits. So, like, think of a well-worn path in the woods. I don't know if y'all live out in the woods or if you've been out in the woods. Out where we live in Washington, there are really thick woods that, I mean, it takes you like 10 minutes to go 30 feet. There's like trees and branches.
There's no trail.
Yeah, if there's no trail. There's blackberries and it's insanely dense in the woods here. But if there's a trail, you can zip right through, like nothing. But the second you get off of that trail, it's like the most amount of laborious, intensive work. You get cuts, you get like rashy bugs on you. That is exactly the process of getting out of the mental pathway that you've created, or that you and your husband have both created for depression. It is like a neural pathway. It literally, your brain goes right down a little trail. That's what I know. Sleep until noon, I know that. Not sleeping
well, that
until...
happens after, once there's the chemical imbalance, and you kind of like, I mean, there's habits around that. It's not like, oh, you're depressed because you have these pathways. No, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to imply that.
Right.
But I just want to say that is what you are also fighting. It's not just, if I set a boundary, it's this. Like, your body is going to, like, you want brownies. The way that you want brownies, and you think, I will do anything for a brownie right now. That's a neural pathway. That's a habit. That's an addiction.
But I won't do that.
Your brain goes, Starbucks, Americano, brownie. And then your body goes, oh yeah, I wanted a brownie. And then your brain makes you get that brownie.
Right.
So it's a cycle that I'm only saying you need the awareness to know how to get out of it. And it is literally like forging a new path in the woods that takes months to make the same length of path that you've walked 1 billion times. Right? And I just think it's important to understand that conceptually, I guess. Why do you not have more to add there? That makes me sad.
I'm sorry. I just don't. Okay.
And he will fight you on it. It's just a thing.
Okay. Here we go. you want to read this one?
Mm-mm.
I've read 2 of them. Hello, Melanie and Seth. I've been listening to your show for about 6 months, and I love it. I have find something valuable and helpful in each time I listen. Thanks for so much you do. Thank you. Very kind. My husband and I have an ongoing disagreement regarding our expectations of each other. We are very busy people. We have our own primary job, and we also have a business that we run together. And here's our problem. My husband constantly makes decisions in the business and our personal lives that involve action on my part without consulting me first. Afterwards, he tells me he needs me to do something as a result of those decisions. He gives me verbal to-do lists. He asks me for things to do for him and that he's more capable.
No, he asks me to do things for him that he's more than capable of doing. I feel like his personal assistant, not his partner or wife. Most of the time I do what I asked, but there are times when I get so frustrated and overwhelmed that I blow up at him. Each time we have this argument, he claims he will never ask me to do anything ever again, in a very pouty way. Since I'm so put out by his requests, I need to add that I almost never ask him to do anything. I've never been comfortable asking anyone for favors or help. I've told him that I would like to be included in the decisions before decisions are made so that we can agree in advance who will be responsible for what. This is when he calls me a control freak and accuses me of just wanting to make all the decisions. I ask for his input on everything, from what we will have for dinner to what color the curtains are, even in his opinion on things that happen in my daily job that don't even affect him. I've asked him to listen to your podcast. I've bought tons of books about marriage and communication. He tells me that the only reason we have an issue is because I'm hearing junk on podcasts and reading crap in books and then trying to control him with the information. I'm doing everything I can to learn new ways to deal with our issues, to improve our communication and our marriage, not to control him. I want to be his partner, not his subordinate. Thank you. This is an amazing question. Thank you so much for writing in and asking it.
Yeah.
I want your opinion on this because you've done that with me. Actually, both of those things. But first, what's your opinion on you're reading a bunch of crap in books? What's wrong with you?
That is one person being kind of afraid for things to change. And the other person is changing and like, this is not cool. I mean, your partner could be like reading and like consuming crap content, I guess, but I don't think this is what we're doing. And I think it can feel threatening because it's like change. It's like, hey, this doesn't work anymore. And those darn podcasts you're listening to is making all this happen, right?
Yeah.
And I think there needs to be some growth on this.
Well, you've done this very thing to me. Like you've been like, what podcast did you listen to that made you mad today? Like you've said that to me.
Well, I think, after like or during an argument or something, that's like came at you sideways, so that happens. I don't know what podcast it was, but I think that he would be helped by, okay, let's get out of it. Like he seems like the kind of control freak, right? Like making decisions and doing all this stuff. And I think that she is like you, asking like what curtains to buy, what to do, and that is her just wanting to involve him in life, right? Because you do that all the time. You're like, I don't even buy a coffee without calling you first. I'm like, well, thanks, you don't have to, but you like that relationship piece of it, right? So I would also say, I guess stating the obvious, it's like, yeah, that's not cool that he's making all these decisions that really
not cool, man,
affect you or affect her, right? And having
it's more than not cool. So keep on.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, no, you can keep talking. It's more than just not cool because it's not fair.
Yeah, I think probably there's some stress and anxiety that is behind all this, like the feeling of need to control, like he can't let go of things. Like, okay, you're capable, you can help.
I don't know that it's anxiety, but these are always also kind of co-occurring things. I think it's ADD. I mean, that sounds like, I didn't think about the decision first, and I said, yeah, we would do it. And so, will you do all of it? Because that's what Seth has done to me a million times. That was the second thing I was going to say that you've done. So you've done the what podcast did you listen to? But then the second part of that is that Seth will do that where it's like, we'll come up with an idea together. Don't read that. We'll come up with an idea together. And then it's like, I look at it and go, okay, division of labor. Right? We're collaborators, collaborers. We are co-laborers in this, even in the podcast. So we come up with an idea, and then inevitably, 99% of it falls onto me. And Seth's like, could you just? Well, I couldn't get to it today. Can you? It's like, no. But I do it because I want to I want this project to succeed. I want our house to be clean. I want our kids to be, bathed.
Mm-hmm.
So I end up doing the bulk of the work. And I told you literally probably a week ago, because at his job he creates what is the word? Programs. So he's a program creator, and he's gotten in trouble at his job for this. Like, you create too many programs and then you walk away from them. Mm-hmm. But his gifting is creating new means of care for people, right? So you create the new thing and you hand it off to a team of people, mm-hmm. right? Your work has been annoyed with the way you do that. Mm-hmm. I'm not a team of people. I'm one person, and mm-hmm. you are doing that with me. Mm-hmm. You want to be the program creator while I'm the program manager, mm-hmm. and I'm not your program manager. And I've literally said that to Seth a week ago, mm-hmm. and it's exactly the same thing. Like, I'm not your subordinate. We are on the same page here. So here's what I have started doing. It's going to sound mega condescending. Mm-hmm. So for any of you ladies out there who don't like it when I lay it all out here, you're going to be mad.
Well, you can say it, then I will diffuse it.
Okay. One of the things I started doing was that I actually started saying no to things. Like, no, I will not do that. Or, you need your laundry done, you may do that. Like, I will just stop saying yes to everything.
Wait a minute. It's not like I'm asking, hey, do my laundry.
I didn't say that you did.
I thought you were going to say the to-do list.
Yeah, I am. But that was part of it is, like, I don't think you see the scope to which I do things for you. Mm. You think, what? I've done my laundry once. And so I'm like, yeah, so you're getting all mad.
I don't think that.
But, so part of it is saying no. Part of it is pushing back onto your partner the things that they are responsible for. Mm-hmm. And not feeling like it's your responsibility to say yes. So that's part of it. The second thing I've started doing is making him to-do lists, but it was kind of like a mutual thing where I said, I was asking him to help with things, and he's like, yes, I want to help with things, but then he wouldn't do anything. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, is this a problem
because I didn't know exactly what to do.
It's because the things that we were talking about doing were so big and not broken down into like tasks, so doable, like incremental daily little things. Mm-hmm. So we said, okay, I'll give you 3 tasks in a day to do.
Ouch.
I'll give you 3 tasks in a day to do that are our shared mutual goals, mm-hmm. right? So one of them will be like, get on the app and answer 3 questions, right? That is important to both of us that we do that, but Seth won't think of it on his own. Mm-hmm. So why not? Let's work to our strong suits and make it into little bullet points.
In that respect, it's like you are the program manager and you're saying, hey, we have the same thing. Great ideas up here. This is what I need help on right here. So you're capable of this, this, and this. Please go do that, right? Instead of me thinking like airy-fairy stuff like, this would be awesome if we do this, which it would, but you're like, whoa, slow down, Charlie. Mm-hmm. Bring it in. This is what I need you to do right now.
Well, I mean, sort of. And part of it is I'm literally tasking to you the things you are responsible for.
Right. So hold on, let me read some stuff.
I like that switch. Right.
I think sometimes we can listen to podcasts and realize the bad habits we have, and the first thing we notice is what others do wrong.
Oh gosh, yes. Yep, that's like the story of my life.
Paul, the greatest man alive, says family of origin stuff too. Yep, I bet his mom controlled his dad growing up. Ooh, that's a good point. Family of origin, yeah. It's easy to notice what others do wrong first. Yes, when I was in grad school, Melanie had every DSM diagnosis ever.
I was malingering.
Ever. I think it's good they trust you to delegate.
Delegate
that task to do. Oh man.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just in a way, it's your partner is showing you that they have a lot of faith in you by saying, "Oh yeah, well they can handle it. My wife can do that."
It's it's like a team structure. It's like, okay, if you have a good team and you're the kind of not the boss or the project manager, it's like, yeah, my person will do this. Let's do this. What?
Every husband thinks that. It's just like a team. I just go and work, and then my wife's at home with kids crawling on her all day and going insane.
I'm not saying that.
I know, but that's how I felt it. But it's all good. We're all good here.
Podcast is over.
But I think it is really important to, when you do take in new information, to not regurgitate it back on your partner as barf, because that's what I was doing. I would take in information like a mama bird feeding a baby. Mm-hmm. Or let me say that again. I would take information like a mama bird, and then I'd barf it on Seth and be like, "See, you are mean."
Like a gross seagull.
But he ate his barf. That was so funny. Anyway,
he barfed and then ate his
barfed and ate his steamy barf. It was so funny. Ugh. It was the best.
That's gross.
But so I think there is a lot to say here. But I want to know your perspective really quickly. How do you get that husband to like snap out of it? Can you?
I don't know. I've never been married to a man.
Oh gosh. Could you help out?
How do I get the husband to snap out of it?
like he's being a jerk.
Yeah.
And he's going, what are you
I think she
listening
can, create definite boundaries. Like, hey, you committed to that without asking me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing that.
Oh, yeah. And
I am not going to do that. So if you said, no, you've done this before, and I was like, pissed. You
gotta say it right. What were you?
I was pissed.
Okay, I did what? Okay, I did what?
Use something, I don't know, a listener or somebody like wrote in or something, and they were going to trade us something for therapy, and like you volunteered me to do therapy, and I was like, H to the triple no. I am absolutely not doing that, because that's not how it works, right? Remember that?
Yeah, and we didn't do it.
Yeah, we didn't, and I was like, absolutely not. I'm not doing that, right? I mean, if it was like something smaller, like, hey, we're going to meet for so-and-so with coffee, Sunday, that's okay, no big deal. But because, like, it sounds like if this husband is signing his wife up to do stuff, it's like now all the onus is on her.
Yeah.
It's like,
and she didn't have to say, yeah.
You have to draw boundaries around that, and I think he'll understand that pretty quickly, because he'll go, oh, crap, I committed to this without asking you. That's not the right way to do stuff. Yeah.
I think there's...
And I have to backpedal and tell the people I can't do whatever.
I think there are two things that you could do. Number one, go to anatomyofmarriage.com, click on the tools picture thing down in the thing, and get the clearing structure. Clearing structure this-ish. Because you need to let your husband know how you feel, sort of sans emotions, without emotions in it. That's what the clearing structure is for. It clarifies. So the first thing is you do the clearing structure. Maybe you do several clearing structures. It's a PDF you can like write in your computer, so you can like talk to text and it will fill it in. So that's cool. The second thing is then, with your current projects that he has delegated to you, I want you to like write out all the tasks and then divide them and give him his tasks to do. That'll teach him. And do it every time. And tell him, when you take on a new assignment without consulting me first, I will delegate our tasks out and hand them back to you. I will take the ones I'm comfortable taking, and I will give you yours.
Right.
And if you're not happy with that, you will consult me before you go ahead and confirm.
Right.
Right?
Okay, next question.
Thank you for the question.
Okay. How do you find a therapist you can actually talk to? I hate more than anything talking about my emotional problems, especially in person. Who are you going to talk to? But I am having so much anxiety, and I have a few big life events I think that are tied to that. And I've seen a therapist for, but I end up feeling not right or almost blamed for what happened to me, and so I quit going. I am breastfeeding, so I do not feel comfortable taking medication for my anxiety, but I need to go away and feel like I am losing my mind.
For one, thank you for the question.
Yes.
If you can't go see a therapist, please spend $20 and get The Limitation Game by Kyle Cease. It's a video series. He sells it online. It's like hours and hours long, and it's like better than therapy. So you don't have to talk to somebody. There's meditations in it, but he's a comedian, so they're funny. Like, he's legit and funny and amazing. Also, you could read Take Control of Your Life by Mel Robbins, or Kick A with Mel Robbins, or what's her other ones? The 5-Minute Rule with Mel Robbins. Or you can read I Hope I Screw This Up by Kyle Cease. So those are like 6 options that don't involve a therapist. You don't have to go somewhere. You can breastfeed while you watch them. No medicine. So again, too, the biggest part of this, I think, is mindfulness. Like, I don't know how to explain this, but mindfulness is like you know how like a toilet drains and it like spins,
Coriolis
and
effect.
The crap is the Coriolis effect, sucks everything down.
Yeah.
Right? That's like anxiety and depression. You're just like spinning and things are like vortexing down. You need mindfulness to get out of the toilet. You literally need like meditation, thoughtfulness, like all of these things to, my stomach just growled, to get out of the, don't do that, it'll do it again, to get out of the trap of your brain. So these books will be really helpful for that. But the second part of that...
Hold on.
I was going to pass it over to you.
Oh, okay.
And now Seth's going to talk.
Oh, thanks. That's good. Yeah, so it's really hard to find a therapist sometimes, especially a one that fits good with you. I've been to a couple and like gone once or twice and been like, this is lame, I'm out of here, and just felt super uncomfortable. So I would say this: see if you can find a therapist and have that therapist be similar to a person that you connect with in real life. Like maybe, like literally, this is going to sound weird, but it's like, it's true. Like maybe a kind grandma, right? Or maybe a super, caring, kind of loving, strong grandpa or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not sure I know what you're saying.
So
are you
she's
saying find a therapist that is like that?
That represents somebody kind, loving, and just really kind of had it together, so like look back in your life, and if you don't have anybody like that, then okay, who do you wish you had? Like, I wish my XYZ was this and this and this. Okay, I'm going to search out a therapist, and I would encourage you to not be discouraged. Like, well, I did all this work and found a therapist and they were weird and whatever. Keep on trying, because sometimes there's all kinds of stories of like, yeah, I went through therapist after therapist after therapist, and finally on my fourth one we just kind of clicked, right? And therapy, so in order for therapy to be efficacious, for it to work, you have to have rapport. And there's all kinds of research out there that says like up to 33%, I say it's more, up to like maybe 55 or 60%, depends on that rapport, just like personal rapport. Like, it doesn't matter what therapeutic modality they use or anything. It's like, oh, do I kind of like vibe with this person on a person-to-person level? Boom. That makes up half of the therapeutic relationship, right? So find a person that's, I don't know, maybe looks like you, doesn't look like you. If you don't want opposite sex, same sex, it doesn't matter, and go from there. I've had some weirdo therapists, and then also some really cool, nurturing, kind, help me out therapists, right?
Yeah, and I would say sometimes, and I don't know, I could be way wrong on this, but I look at my relationships with my sister and my best friend. They are legit like therapy to me.
Right.
And I'm not working through complex trauma or any abuse like that, so it's a different thing.
It's therapy because you're relating and communicating and in fellowship with them on a real rapport way.
Yeah, and these are people that like can say, hey, have you thought of doing it like this? Or this is what I've done. This is the book that I've read. That kind of thing. Also,
Thanks,
an important thing to note is that Seth and I are starting something new.
Oh!
I thought you were going to segue into that, and you totally didn't.
We're going to therapy?
Group therapy. Anatomy of Marriage group therapy.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
You're doing a great job promoting.
AOM group therapy is something that we are kicking off.
And I think we should start it in September. I think we're going to onboard for all of August, get applications, go through the process, because y'all, we can't take everyone.
Right.
But one of our things, it's a model, the way that the women and men's groups work for Anatomy of Marriage main page, like the private men's and women's groups. That's what we want to do with AOM group therapy. And the concept is just, we're here for each other, right?
So let me just give a little overview of it, right? We have done group therapy before, and that was the intimacy retreat, which was unbelievable. I have done men's groups. I have done little girls groups. I have done little boys groups. I've done teen male groups. I've done other men's groups as well. And they are amazing. And the times that we have had the first AOM conference in Chicago, that was group therapy, and that was freaking awesome. And then we just did the Seattle AOM meetup. That was awesome. It was a small group of very like-minded people wanting the same thing for their marriage, for themselves, and getting together. And there is a real energy, and I'm not just looking like, oh yeah, energy. I'm like a real like...
It's an energy of like
there's something going on here,
support.
Right? In this circle, right? We're talking... We all kind of talk about similar things, and we all want the same thing. So when you get a group of like-minded people moving in the same direction, guess what? There is going to be change. There's going to be power in that, and there's going to be a difference in how you think, feel, and act and perceive yourself, and also think, feel, and act and perceive your partner. And that is absolutely everything we want. So I'm like getting more like jazzed, more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
Because I've done it. I've participated in it personally, and I've also facilitated literally thousands of hours. And when I say thousands of hours, I'm not joking. Like over thousands of hours of group therapy. So we're pretty darn good at it, I would say. And if you want to be a part of that, there's going to be a limited amount of spaces. We don't know how many spaces
Yeah, we're
yet,
working it out right now.
but we're working on it, right? So the idea is like, okay, get together on online calls, right? And it's not going to be everybody, thousands of people like a show is. It's going to be a small, intimate group of like little cohorts, right?
Yeah.
And then what would be more awesome is like, okay, you guys, we're all going to meet, you know, Nashville,
have actual
December
hangouts and
2020,
stuff. Yeah.
or who knows what.
And I
just made
think
that
eventually
up,
we'll get to the point where we just tour the world. So that's cool.
Yes.
But I really think this concept came about because finding a therapist is really hard. Finding people you connect to is really hard. One of the things we found is that therapists actually use our podcast, which is awesome. If you're a therapist and you use and share our podcast, shout out to us. Like, share your therapy practice. That means you're like-minded, and our listeners can come see you, right? So if you want a therapist in your city, and you're a therapist who listens to our show,
I
let's
just
connect.
thought of a referral network for therapists.
We should do that.
Boom,
but
baby.
anyway, so our concept for group therapy, for AOM group therapy, is just the amount of love we've seen come through the men's and women's groups, the amount of support. There's nothing that equals that. There's nothing that matches that. It's like the proximity principle times 1,000, like Ken Coleman talks about, where you're in proximity with people who want your health to be front and foremost. They want your marriage to be successful. They want your children to be healthy. Some of them are older than you. Some of them are younger than you. And it gives you that like mentor-mentee thing, which sounds super weird. And I used to think it was like the dumbest thing ever.
Doesn't sound weird.
I used to think it sounded weird.
Well,
but like when you help
don't be
someone... when someone helps you through something that they've been through, that's incredibly helpful. But then on top of that, if you turn around and help someone who is not quite at the spot you've been through, and they are looking for you for help, it is like the most full circle, like all incredibly whole health thing possible. And it changes you. It's amazing.
It's almost like a natural process.
It is so natural. It is like
you were a kid who looked up to somebody. Now you have kids. They're looking up to you, and it just keeps
it's
on
like
going.
when a 10-year-old kid teaches a 7-year-old kid how to ride a bike. It's important. It's very important.
Somebody says, "Oh my gosh, you're going to help so many people." That's the
goal.
That is the absolute goal.
And
so
it
thank
helps
you.
us.
Let's see. You're modeling everything you preach too. How exciting! Thank you. That's awesome. And somebody.
That's a really long
Oh, geez,
one.
that's a long one, Brittany. Hold on. Weird question. Do therapists typically take notes during a session? The answer is yes to that. I've been to a couple different therapists in my lifetime, and they have always taken notes. I assume to remember what we talked about when our next session aimed along. Yes, that is. And I've been seeing a therapist. I have my 3rd appointment coming up, but she never takes notes, and I'm not really sure how I'm feeling with her yet. Totally random question. I'm just curious if it's normal not to. I feel like she needs me to repeat what we discussed last time. Is that weird?
Yeah.
That could be kind of weird. So I take notes, and I have not taken notes more than not. If that
Wait,
makes
what? You don't take notes?
When I would do private practice therapy, I would take notes, right? Because it was just intimate. I was there, but I do a lot of like home visits and community visits, and I don't typically take notes because it might be weird just sitting at a
that's different.
Starbucks doing a session with
Yeah.
notes, right? So if she is like, hey, what did we talk about? I don't think I've ever asked that.
Yeah.
I have a really good memory sometimes when it comes to clients. So I'm not sure if she's, I don't know, but I mean, how do you feel? Maybe that's a side thing. Like maybe you could even ask her, like, hey, what are you kind of writing down? Or, you sometimes ask what's going on. Do you remember what we talked about last session?
How many minutes are
Kind
you
of thing.
spending? So you paying that lady.
Usually 50 or...
No. How many minutes are you spending repeating what you talked about last week?
Right.
I'm not down for that. Money is hard to get.
That's true. So, okay, we got to wrap this thing up. So...
but yeah, but this is amazing. Thank you for hanging out with us this morning, and we love y'all. So we're going to get some links out for the therapy groups, the group therapy concept. We don't have anything set up yet, but we wanted to take all of August to kind of like think about it, talk about it, share the idea. And we're really, really excited about it. But before we sign off, please,
high five?
oh right, I wasn't gonna, but I will. Go to iTunes and please rate and review the podcast. It's so important for new listeners to find our show that they are validated by social people, by humans, real humans. They don't care what we say about our show. They care what you say about our show.
That's true.
So so please go ahead and rate and review the podcast. Leave a review. It is so incredibly helpful. Get a free audiobook on audibletrial.com/anatomy marriage. And we'll see you tomorrow. Send your questions in and we'll hang out.
Love you guys. Later.
Bye. Thanks.
Hey, Brittany, email us if you have more questions about that. I'd be more than happy to talk to you because I do take notes sometimes. Other times just totally don't because it would be weird. But I do not spend a lot of time Okay, what did we talk about last time? Because it's
That
good
seems
ethical.
unprofessional.
It's good ethical practice to go review the notes and just like have your headspace in the next client that you are seeing. So, hopefully it's not too big of a problem. Okay, adios. You guys are awesome. You're awesome, Brad.
You're awesome. That's
All right,
right.
love you guys. Bye.